Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Thursday, September the 30th, 2021. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here with the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Got a packed show, a lot to get into here on a Thursday as we sit about 51 and a half hours until kickoff on Saturday when the Gamecocks take on the Troy Trojans. I see Lance Player, Wesley, Chase Youngblood, Travis Well, Brendan M., Sean O'Brien, Lindsey Hagler, Tyler Knoll, Noah Johns, what's up? Appreciate y'all tuning in. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to TDC Questions, the TDC Questions channel, to be sure that your questions are answered. Again, Thursday, September the 30th, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, a lot to get into, like I said, here on a Thursday. Before we do, I want to tell you about our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Guys, they're young but experienced and aggressive attorneys. They're both former prosecutors who used to represent insurance companies, but switching sides. They both worked at larger law firms where they've represented hundreds of clients at a time. And guys, they both left to start their own law firm because they understand you're not just a line item, you're not just a number, you're a real human being, and you should be treated as such. They're a small boutique law firm that treats their clients like family. Guys, they're going to know who you are and treat you like a client and not a number. They handle injury cases that arise from car accidents and work accidents. Guys, do not try to take on the insurance company yourself. If you've been involved in any type of accident, no matter what it is, the last thing that you should be worried about is dealing with paperwork, dealing with the insurance company. Let the experts over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm handle it for you. They use the latest technology to make representation efficient yet effective. Again, guys, let them take care of everything for you. You don't even pay them unless they recover money for you. Rami's in Columbia, Curtis in Charleston. They handle cases statewide. They also offer virtual or in-person consultations at no charge. Guys, give them a call today in Columbia, 803-973-0304, or in their Somerville location, 843-388-3368. Or, of course, guys, your one-stop shop, their website, dsinjurylaw.com. That is dsinjurylaw.com for more information. Again, guys, that's our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. What's up? 843-790-3377. Guys, that's 843-790-3377. As you see behind me, bad weekend to be a Trojan. It's always a bad weekend to be a Trojan in Columbia. I shouldn't have said that. Nah, we're just having fun here on a Thursday. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in again. Thank you all so much. Let's see. We'll go ahead and jump to the TDC Questions channel. James Kendall talking some baseball. Always love talking baseball. In regards to recruiting, he says it feels like you don't want the number one class because then your players are more likely never making it to campus. What is the sweet spot? I mean, I don't know if I totally agree with that because, I mean, if you have the 9th ranked class, you're still going to have guys that aren't going to come on campus that are going to go to the draft. You've just got to find a nice mix of guys who, I mean, listen, it's just inevitable. Like when you're a program like South Carolina or Florida, who I think has the number one class, or all those teams in the top 10, top 15, even top 20, whatever, you're going to have guys that go to the draft. The strategy in recruiting, of course, I mean, you don't want to sign a bunch of guys that aren't going to come to school because then you're not going to have anybody that comes. So, you just kind of deal with it as it comes. I don't think, I mean, that's certainly something coaches have to keep in the back of their mind, but you're trying to get the best possible players. Man, that's bottom line. You're trying to get the best possible players and convince them why they should come to school, by the way. Convince them why they should come to school. There's a lot of guys that sign that do get drafted. And basically everybody that comes to South Carolina, they do get drafted out of high school, pretty much all of them. So, not everybody's a first rounder either. So, to insinuate that if you sign the number one class, like half your class is going in the first round, it's just not realistic. But I do get what you're saying, though. You want those guys to come on campus. Let's see, Lance. It is always tank season, my friend. I appreciate the hat. Haven't pulled this hat out in a while. John Kruger says, overcast here in Rock Hill. Travis says, saw some defensive stats. Troy looks pretty good on that side of the ball. Our O-line better be ready. Yeah, absolutely. The O-line better be ready. Javon Solomon, a guy I talked about on the show that dropped today, which, by the way, episode 508 did drop today, so go check that out. But Javon Solomon, a guy that I've listed in a key matchup, and I think it's going to be up to Luke Doty and his athleticism to make things happen because Solomon, guys, through 4 games, has 9.5 tackles for loss and 5.5 sacks. Some of the best numbers in all of college football. So Troy has been good defensively, man. They're actually the number 1 group of 5 defense right now and 4th in FBS. Again, that's against their schedule and who they've played. And I'll tell you this, though, guys. Let's see. Shabazz Ali, why didn't y'all show up at Georgia? I was throwing a watch party, Shabazz. I was throwing a watch party. David Barnes says, do you think the Trojans are ultra thin in any specific positions? Oh, shame on you, David, for that. No, we're having, like I said, we're having a good time with it. This is a journalist's dream this weekend, by the way, with the headlines. Cox will rely on their tight ends to beat the Trojans this weekend at Williams-Brice. Love that. Love that. It'll be good. I will tell you guys this, though. I woke up this morning, and I was really excited. If you listen to the podcast, and I was excited last night being at Tin Roof as well, because I'm so happy to not be talking about last weekend anymore, because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to look ahead to this weekend, what we need to do, what our goals are, what the expectations are. Obviously, again, I'll drop my official prediction tomorrow, but the game, what's happened has happened. South Carolina is 2-2. Now, you can either continue to dwell in the past or you can look ahead to this weekend. I want to look ahead to this weekend. I'm actually very optimistic going in this weekend, I believe it or not. And this is the reason, guys. This is the reason. Because, again, Shane Bieber came out earlier this week. The sky is not falling, according to a lot of our fans. You know, Marcus Satterfield's terrible. We'll never win another game. Our offense is just pitiful, blah, 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 whatever. And I get it. And I understand what the offense has done to this point. I totally get it. But hear me out. You've lost back-to-back games to SEC foes, right? Back-to-back games to SEC foes, both who feature good defenses. And I understand the numbers right now and where your offense sits. But hear me out. Things are never quite as bad as they seem, and they're never quite as good as they seem. So I think approaching this weekend with, oh my God, we're going to get shut out, doom and gloom, we're not going to be able to do anything. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. South Carolina is almost getting somewhat of a relief playing against Troy this weekend. As good as their defense has been, taking nothing away from Troy. But you're coming off back-to-back very physical games, very physical SEC games. I'm not going into this weekend, guys. I'm actually very optimistic on what can happen Saturday at Williams-Brice. Could it also go horribly wrong? Yes, it could. Yes, it could. But I don't know. I woke up this morning feeling very optimistic about this weekend. I did. And again, I don't have a score prediction locked in quite yet. You know, I'll have that tomorrow, but I do feel optimistic. Again, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. So we've been having some issues, I guess, with the ringer, if you will. The issues with the ringer, because you guys can hear the ringtone. I'm trying to do the whole do not disturb thing. So we'll see if that works. If you guys can't call in, I'll cut it off, obviously. Somebody text him. What's up, Chris? This is Tanner. I think a lot of people are being a little hard on Satterfield. I think the guy may be a solid OC. But the one thing that's been driving me crazy is the fact Beamer said he got 8 of 10 coaches he's wanted. He didn't name them, but I have to believe one of the two is Bobo that he didn't get because he obviously wanted to retain him. 2 days later, we have Satterfield. Just scared he may have jumped the gun on the hire because he was kind of running out of time and needed an offensive coordinator. Regardless, hashtag I still miss Bobo. I got to think one of the two is Greg Atkins. It has to be. It absolutely has to be. I don't know, just my opinion. I think it's got to be Greg Atkins. I mean, we're talking about a guy in Atkins that literally was fired from Tennessee midseason last year. Like, how could that be your first choice is my question. Maybe it was, though. Maybe it was. Phil, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. John Kruger, Braves magic number's 1. Yes, the magic number for the Braves is 1. It is 1. Love to see it. Jay Smith says, block someone and we will be fine. It starts there. Very great analysis because actually I agree with you. Just block somebody. Block somebody. John Arthur says 21-7 Gamecocks. Shabazz Ali says, y'all are a young team. The talent's there. Just need to bring it all together. Yeah. I mean, listen, again, Shane Beamer's first year, changing the culture, everything else. It'll come together. Just going to take time. Just going to take time. Eric Fryer says, 27-7 Gamecocks. Defense will score again or puts the offense in the red zone and leads to an easy touchdown. I like it. Tyler Noel says over under 65,000 fans this weekend. I hate to say it. I got to say under. I'd be very surprised if it's like a huge crowd this weekend. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see Gamecocks show up and show out and come support the boys, but you know, and listen, I'll say this too. I feel for Gamecock fans, and it's just you know, this isn't the early 2000s where, you know, you couldn't watch your team. Like if they were playing a team like Troy, like, I mean, I remember, and I mean, I'm not that old, but I remember the days of pay-per-view and listening to the games on the radio with my grandfather. And so like, you were very compelled to go to the games because they're like, would I rather sit at home and pay for pay-per-view or just pay for a ticket and go? Or would I rather be there in person or listen to it on the radio? So if you lived in the state, you would go. But now, I mean, dude, there's just so many streaming options that you don't have to go. And you know, nothing's getting cheaper in this world, right? Like tickets are only going up. And, you know, to take a family of 4 to a game, like I can't blame fans for, especially after last weekend, not wanting to attend this game. I can't blame them. I can't blame them. That's all I'm saying. So, but I hope there's a big crowd. I hope it's a big crowd. I do. Again, guys, 843-790-3337. So I'm going to appreciate you all tuning in, 843-790-3377. Also, guys, appreciate those who came out to Tin Roof last night. Had a really, really good time at Tin Roof. Quick reminder, Saturday, the TSUS tailgate at Seawells. TSUS tailgate at Seawells. Spots 93 to 96 will be out there probably around 11, like right before 11 I'll get out there. So going to be out there all day. Would love to party with some Gamecocks and hang out. So going to be a really, really good time. Christian Carver says Sunbelt teams have always came prepared against SEC teams in the past because look at Troy beating LSU and South Alabama beating Mississippi State. Yeah, hey, do not take this game for granted on Saturday. You absolutely cannot. Do not take this game for granted. Troy has got good football players. Chip Lindsey's a really good football coach. One of my key matchups in this game is actually Clayton White against Chip Lindsey. Listen, I'm giving more credit to the defense this week. I'm giving more credit. And I hope it doesn't burn me. I don't think it will, but I hope it doesn't burn me because Chip Lindsey's a damn good one. Chip Lindsey knows offense. And, you know, our secondary, our defense as a whole has really stepped up. But Troy can throw the football. They're averaging like 270 passing yards per game. Again, I know it's against the competition they've played, but, you know, it's another test for the secondary is what I'd say. It's another test for the secondary. Clayton White, going to be interested to see the game plan he dials up against Chip Lindsey again, who, you know, I think is one of the better offensive minds in college football. Was at Auburn before. Guy knows what the hell he's doing. So John Gibbs has watched our game yesterday from last weekend. I really like the formations and spread we're running. We just aren't calling the right plays. Easy fix, but not an easy fix. Let's see. Shabazz Ali, 42-7 Gamecocks. My prediction. God, I would love that. Please, I'll sign up for that right now, Shabazz. I hope you're right. Tim Woodward, I believe this is the week that we see a major improvement on the offensive side of the ball. Tight ends are going to have a big game. I tend to think so as well. Again, like I said, guys, things are never quite as bad as they seem, and they're never quite as good as they seem. So this whole, like, mindset from some fans that, oh, we're just never going to score a touchdown again, and we're doomed for the rest of the season. We've played 4 games. Like, we're going to get better. It's just natural progression. That's why you hired Shane Beamer, because you felt like, hey, you're going to see progress week to week to week. That was at least one of the goals and expectations. You need to see that. And I think you will. I think you will see that. John Arthur, I don't know how you feel, but I think 3:30 is better than noon. Yeah, I would most certainly agree with that. I would most certainly agree with that, my friend. Lance Players is going to be a Bush Latte breakfast, indeed. Justin Langford, tickets to non-conference games are like $24 to $34. I'll tell you this. I think if you wait until right before kickoff, you could probably get these tickets for like $5. I mean, there's probably going to be people giving away tickets outside the stadium, if I had to guess. Christian Carver, fun fact, Chip Lindsey tried to recruit Luke Doty when he was the offensive coordinator at Auburn. Yeah, I mean, listen, Chip Lindsey knows good offense. He does know good offense. Jay Smith says Oscar Delp will be there and more recruits. Please put on a show. Great Bisbee says never as bad as they seem. Always room for improvement. Absolutely. Shabazz Ali, my wife's a Gamecocks fan. I've been on the couch ever since the Georgia game. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Saturday. I like I said, it's never as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it sems. Keep perspective. Stay in the middle. We need to see improvement. There's no doubt. There's no question. Great opportunity this weekend. To build some momentum. Obviously, a huge game the following weekend with Tennessee. So use this weekend to build momentum. Luke RJ, is Troy's defense better than Kentucky's? No. Give Troy credit. The numbers are really good, but you're not going to convince me that Troy, a Sun Belt team, has a better defense with better players than Kentucky. You're just not. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Like I said, give them all the credit in the world. But yeah, so I think you'll have more success offensively than people are expecting. I'll leave it at that. Let me see. Again, guys, questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls. Well, David Barnes says, another fun fact, the last time the Trojans played the Cox, they gave up 69 points. Yes, nice. Very nice indeed. We actually posted the highlight this morning, the throwback. The last time South Carolina played Troy was 2010. 2010, the Gamecocks beat Troy 69-24. Nice. Lance Player, the final truth on this team is make the plays and they need to be made. Play calling has not been bad. Listen, was play calling perfect last weekend? No. But I think it's foolish to blame it all on one thing. I think it's foolish to blame and that's what fans want to do. They want to blame it all on one thing. Like it's one thing's fault. And it's like, that's not the case, guys. Was play calling perfect? No. But was execution perfect? Absolutely not. I mean, do you really think they're putting the offensive line in a position to have some of the blunders they've had? I mean, you know, if guys don't block, guys don't block. You know what I mean? You just got to go out there and block. Make a play, you know? Go make a play. When it's 4th and 5 and a guy hits you in the chest, make a play. He knows that, of course, but make a play. John Gibbs says, we don't have to throw the ball to the tight ends a whole lot to convince Delp. We just need to throw the ball down the field because when in doubt, the tight ends will be involved with that. We want Delp and to hell with Georgia, LOL. Yeah, I mean, of course we want Delp. Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to get your tight ends more involved. They're just too good of players on your roster for them to not be involved, in my opinion. J-Rock Media says, I hope we get a big win this season. That'll lay a foundation for Beamer's future legacy like Spurrier had in his first year against Florida. Not saying Beamer Spurrier, but we need a W like that. A hang-your-hat W is what you're saying, J-Rock. A hang-your-hat W. And there's opportunity for it in the second half of the season. Certainly you look at Florida, you look at A&M, you look at Auburn, you look at even on the road at Mizzou. That would be a big win. Maybe Clemson. God, maybe Clemson. I mean, at this point, maybe Clemson. Good Lord. Can you imagine Shane Beamer beating Clemson in his first season? Wouldn't that be something? But it's all got to be better, top to bottom. It's all got to be better, from play calling to coaching as a whole to execution. It's all. Let's not just put all the blame on one guy. Let's not put it. They're coaches, guys. Coaches don't play though. Coaches just coach. Eric Fryer says, food for thought. Our national recruiting rankings we're inside the top 25, 2016 and 2020. So we've had the talent. What we've never had was development and culture. We're seeing that on the defensive side immediately. Offense will take a little longer. So to say our current roster is trash is not genuine. I'm not saying the roster's trash, Eric. But right now we don't have the players to go beat Georgia or apparently to go win a game like we had last week. Yes, we are a victim of horrific development. I 110% agree. And maybe in some cases we're a victim of bad evaluation. You know, I'm not saying this is an SEC roster. I'm not saying the roster's trash, like it's just total trash. I wouldn't have picked this to go 6-6 if I thought the roster was trash. Vanderbilt is trash. South Carolina's roster isn't trash, but is it where it needs to be to compete and win? Let's say go 8-4. I wouldn't say that. Wouldn't say that at all. I wouldn't say that at all. I think there are good individual pieces on this team. Without a doubt, there's guys that are going to be playing on Sundays on this team. But as a whole, roster's got to be upgraded. And what we're missing truly is like real competitive depth. I think that's the big issue. You know, we're missing real competitive depth. But no, we're not a trash team. You know, I know I've been very critical of the roster, and we are very depleted in some areas, and we're extremely unproven in some areas. And again, like this roster is no indictment on Shane Beamer. None. It's not his roster. You know, he just got his hands on these guys. It speaks volumes about the previous regime, the previous administration, as my good friend Alex McGrath likes to say. I mean, you got guys in, and again, it's like when I talked to those ECU guys, and one of their guys he phrased it perfectly, that, you know, hey, Eric brings up the point, top 25 in recruiting, 26. We've been good in recruiting for years. I mean, we're always top 25, I feel. Always top 25. But if you don't, and Brad Lawing talked about this, if you don't develop those players, if you don't develop them, you might be reeling in 4 and 5 stars. But if you don't develop them, then in 3, 4, or 5 years, all you're going to have is a roster full of 4 and 5 star high school players, which means nothing because that doesn't mean you're a good college football player. It's a different game. It's a different game. You know, the difference in the Spurrier era and when Coach Lawing was at Carolina, yes, they were recruiting at a very good clip. A very good clip, right? But also what they were doing was they were taking the 4 and 5 star guys, and obviously they were putting them in great positions to be successful. But they were taking the 3-star guys, and they were getting the most out of them, right? They were getting DJ Swearinger was a 3-star recruit, guys. Connor Shaw was a 3-star recruit. Dylan Thompson was a 2-star recruit. They were also master evaluators. They were fantastic. And that's why you hired Shane Beamer. That, again, is why I'm just not, there's not much that could happen this season that's going to make me question the hiring of Shane Beamer, which, again, I think you'd be foolish to make any of those type of conclusions or assumptions in year one. I had somebody text me this morning. Man, I don't know. Literally, this is a text I got. Man, I don't know, Chris. I think the job might just be too big for Shane Beamer. He's 2-2 right now, and the 2 games he won is because you're just more talented. The other 2 games, he got out-coached. And I don't know that I even fully agree with the statement, but here's my point, guys. You did not hire Shane Beamer because you thought, well, he's a great coach in year one. That's not why you hired him. He's never been a head coach. The reason you hired Shane Beamer is because you were hoping and banking on, number one, you hired him because he wants to be here. He loves South Carolina. He's going to give it his best shot. It's personal to him. He's a Gamecock. But you hired him, guys, not because he's a great head coach right now. You hired him because you're hoping and banking on he's going to grow into a great head coach. So, you know, people so concerned about, oh, yeah, Mark Stoops did this versus what Shane Beamer did. And I didn't see anything egregious on Saturday night that tells me that, oh, my God, Shane Beamer's just so far in over his head. He's getting out-coached. I saw nothing of that. But if you want to, for some reason, try to make that argument, I mean, Mark Stoops should out-coach Shane Beamer. Mark Stoops is a 9th-year coach. Shane Beamer is a first-year head coach learning on the job. So you're just not going to hear me draw any conclusions about the guy. It'd be, again, like you at your job when you first started or the first time you did anything, and someone went ahead and wrote the story on you after your first month or even first year on the gig. I mean, how much – we got to allow these guys to grow and get better. We have to. And, hey, if it's painfully obvious – like Marcus Satterfield, for example. Guy's never called a play at the SEC level. But if it becomes very evident by end of next season or maybe end of the third season that, hey, he's not the guy, we'll make a change. But that's really been my point, my messaging all week, guys. It's like I don't know what people were expecting if they thought that they were hiring Shane Beamer. That he's not Steve Spurrier. He's not Nick Saban. He's not Lou Holtz. He's not. Look at the coaches that in their first year had struggles. Hey, Nick Saban lost to Louisiana Monroe in year one at Bama. Kirby Smart went 8-5 or whatever the hell they went, and they lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, year one's kind of a roller coaster, man. And especially for a guy like Shane Beamer, again, that's never been a head coach, and he's got a million things on his plate. So, again, I'm excited to watch the progression. And I think we'll see progression from last week to this week. I mean, you have to, right? I think we will see it, though. I think we will see it. Again, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. J-Rock Media, if Beamer beats Clemson this year, all will be forgiven. with the fans still sore from Kentucky. Bro, we could lose every game. If we beat Clemson, there's a large portion of this fan base that would just be like, oh, you get a free pass. Tim Woodward, think how much stronger our defense could be if the offense would have some long time eating drives. D is good now, but Austin if rested. Yeah, I agree. Hey, a football team, it's a team. It feeds off each other. Yeah, the defense will only get better if the offense can figure it out. Christian Carver, if we were to beat Clemson this year with them sort of down to their standard right now, would recruiting go a long way for us? I mean, certainly it would help. There's no, hey, listen, winning only helps in recruiting, right? I mean, great players want to go play where it's fun. And the schools where it's fun are the schools that are winning games. I mean, certainly. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you guys winning games is not important. I'm just saying in year one, is it the most important thing? Debatable. But it is important. Don't get me wrong. You can't go 0-12, right? It's important. And what the winning does is reaffirms everything that Shane Beamer and his staff are saying to the players. Like, that's what I said after you beat East Carolina. That's why that was so big. And I know it might seem like, after the season's over, it's just a blip on the radar. But, if this team does figure it out, and if this team does get to 6 wins, me personally, I'll look back at that East Carolina game as like, that was the game right there. That really, that's the only reason that was even possible. Only reason it was possible was because you found a way to overcome adversity and win that game. Might be small to some, but you can look at your team, look at your players after a game like that and say, this is why we're preaching to you what we're preaching. This is why we're saying what we're saying. So, and that's a big deal because, believe it or not, Shane Beamer is still trying to earn the trust of many guys in the locker room. Guys, I mean, that's the other thing I think fans just don't give enough credit to. You think everybody was happy that Muschamp got those players? There's plenty of guys in that locker room that still love Will Muschamp and that probably think he should have came back. Truly. Tyler Noel said it's hard to not blame the struggles on the of this offense on anything other than the offensive line. I can't bring myself to believe the scheme is too difficult for those guys. Atkins needs to go if the line continues to give abysmal performances the rest of the year. Also, if the quarterback is really calling the protections out, that should stop too. Let Eric Douglas, who's seen a ton of football, call out the protections. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. That's got to stop. So, I mean, something's got to change. And if that's the case, if the quarterback's really making all the calls for protections, that's got to stop. That's got to stop for sure. You got to change up something, right? Let's see. J-Rock Media for the running game. We should keep Kevin and Marshawn in the backfield and put Zaquandre and Juju on the outside for sweeps and screens. Get more of those guys creatively involved. I would agree with you. John Kruger. Chris, if you had to build your all-time South Carolina football team at quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end, who would you pick? God, put me on the spot, John. At quarterback, Connor Shaw, no question. Running back, Marcus Lattimore. Well, maybe George Rogers. I mean, you're splitting hairs there. Yeah, I'll go George Rogers. Heisman winner. Hard to say otherwise. Connor Shaw, George Rogers at wide receiver. I'm going to go Sidney Rice. Tight end, I'm going Jared Cook. My team's going to score points. My team is going to score points. Luke RJ says, I hear you, Chris. I'd also really like to see week-to-week progression. So would I. I think you need to see that. I'm not saying that, we don't need to see it. Of course you need to see that. Of course. Courtney Washington says, after this past weekend, I still think we have a shot at 8 wins. Let's get to 6. If we can get to 6, that's great. If we can get to 6, that's great. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. Keith says, Satterfield said again yesterday, it's communication. So, yep, you got to figure something out, man. You've got to figure something out, no question. It's got to improve. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt it's got to improve. There's no doubt it's got to improve. And I think you will have that opportunity this weekend. I mean, like I said, Troy features a good defense, but, against who they played, against their schedule. So. Ben Webster says, Satterfield made the list of best and worst coordinators I just saw for week 4. Oh, well, whatever. Brennan M. in the TDC Questions channel says, I want to play neck again. Let's see. Jesse Jacobs, as bad as Clemson looks right now, am I the only one who feels like Dabo will turn it around and they somehow still make the playoffs? Hate it, but I just get that feeling. Jesse, there's no chance in hell Clemson makes the playoff. None. Negative a billion chance. Negative a billion. Nope. Not happening, Jesse Jacobs. It is not happening. Not happening. Yeah, no. Clemson's not. No, Clemson's not. Clemson's not making the playoff. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Like I said, quick reminder, episode 508 of the podcast did drop this morning, breaking down everything with the game against Troy, top storylines, key matchups, keys to the game, everything you need to know about that matchup on Saturday. Also, guys, fantastic conversation, great interview, another throwback interview, this time with Busta Anderson, all the way back from May of 2019. Guys, the reason I'm doing these throwback interviews, again, people are very, very busy during the football season, believe it or not. Yeah, shocker, right? People are very, very busy, though. And so it's getting a little harder to schedule interviews. And also, we've got so much stuff going on. It's getting harder and harder to do so. But also, there's just so many great interviews we've done in the past that I feel like so many people have never heard. And, of course, this one, May of 2019. There's probably a lot of you in here that had no clue who I was or the Spurs Up Show was back then. So wanted to republish that. Again, Busta Anderson, an awesome dude, was a fantastic tight end at South Carolina. So really, really great conversation. Highly suggest you check that out. Busta was underrated. We've had some damn good tight ends. My dude. So some very, very good tight ends. I'll ask you guys this, by the way. And listen, this is I don't want to call it a safe space, but this is our chat, right? This is our thing. So you can be totally brutally honest with me, okay? You can be totally brutally honest because I was at my live show last night at Tin Roof, and post-show, I'm talking with some people, and I'm talking to a very, very big Gamecocks fan, like a guy who goes to every single game. And he told me, he said, Chris, I got to be totally honest with you, man. He's like, I loved the show. He's like, I love the show. It was great. He's like, but I'll be honest, it's just really hard for me to get excited about playing Troy. So I'm curious to get y'all's feedback because I feel like one of the reasons why we spent so long this week dwelling on the Kentucky game is because this weekend, I think a lot of fans are not necessarily even looking forward to it. What's your feelings on it? I mean, realistically, honestly, I think it's safe to say there's not nearly as much hype going into this weekend as there was this time last week going into playing Kentucky. But I'm curious. I mean, how do y'all view this game? I mean, it's a little different for me because I, doing what I do. But I'm definitely excited for this game. But if you're not, I won't judge you. I get it. I get it to a degree. I get it to a degree. Let's see. Savannah Webster says, I disagree. I'm excited for a win. Bryant Hughes, I want to dub regardless of who it is. Courtney Washington, I feel like it's another opportunity to get better. Corey Gardner, I get pumped up watching every game Carolina plays. Okay, so, I mean, hey, if you're in here, though, you're a diehard, so I'd imagine you guys are excited for the game this weekend. But, for the casual fan, I guess you could say, which, again, the Daily Crow, I don't know that it's really built for the casual fan. But, yeah, anyways. Yeah, season goes so quick and Jordan. That's great perspective, John Braddock. Yeah, great perspective there. Yeah, hey, you only get 12 of these. All right, let's jump to the phone lines. Oh, are they hung up? So, guess that was a spam call. Very good. Phone lines are a little dead today. B Diva, what's going on? Luke RJ says, I view it as we better not lose, and we have to play better on offense to have a chance. Period. That's on period, my guy. On period. Nah, you're right. I mean, it's a game you cannot lose, no question. It's a game you cannot lose. about this Miami, Virginia tonight? What a game that is. Anybody going to watch that? Whoa. Hey, quick update for you all. Dun-dun-dun. Quick update. On the gambling side of things, like I told you all, Gamecocks opened as a 9-point favorite, correct? Correct. That line then quickly dropped to Gamecocks -7. Okay, touchdown favorite. So what that means is money coming in on Troy, which whatever. Just checked it. As of right now, that line has since dropped again. Gamecocks sit as a 6.5-point favorite. So money is coming in on Troy. It is still coming in on Troy. That is, I'll tell you this, guys. I don't want to spoil my prediction, but whatever. The numbers at 6.5, I would hammer South Carolina -6.5. Here's also a gambling tip for you. Whatever the public is on, fade them. Because normally the public is wrong. And obviously the public is all over Troy. All over them. Hammer the Gamecocks -6.5. I'm not sitting here saying South Carolina's going to win by 4 touchdowns, but hammer the 6.5. That is wow. I'm really surprised the money has continued to come in on Troy. I know how South Carolina looked last week, but still. Savannah Webster says, this ain't the Troy of the past. I don't know if you mean they're better or worse, but no, I mean, I think this Troy team is good. I don't think Troy's a scrub team by any means. I think Troy's very solid. I mean, I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a fight. I don't think it's going to be some cakewalk for sure. Brack, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Jesse Jacobs says, excited to see some big improvement in specific areas and get a solid win. Win by 2 touchdowns or more. Yeah, got to make progress. Got to get better week to week. Courtney Washington says, are you going to the women's basketball scrimmage on Friday? What time is that? I was trying to find what time it was, and I felt like I couldn't find it. I saw where they picked the rosters, but I haven't seen times or if it was even open to the public. All right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis.
Robbie, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
I think Saturday game against Troy is the perfect opportunity for our offensive line to show what they really and truly can do, because they do have something to prove. I hate to say that I think they can do it against Troy, but this is the perfect opportunity for us to iron out the offensive line issues is in this Troy game, and I believe that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, hey, and don't feel bad about saying it against Troy. I mean, that's the next team on the schedule. So I mean, it's
yeah, like I said last night, you got Kentucky's over with. It's over with. We got to focus on Troy, and whatever happens after Saturday, then we got to just focus on Tennessee.
Yeah. No, for sure. I agree with you. I think this is definitely, after 2 tough SEC games, a great opportunity to take a step, make some progression. And you have to do it. You just have to. So, Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
got to do it, man. You can't go out there. You just can't go out there and get pushed around against Troy. I'll give you. I guess I'll not let it slide. But okay, you played back-to-back SEC games, but I know Troy is good defensively, and again against who they played. But you're an SEC team. They're a Sun Belt team. You should be able to win at the point of attack and run the football, right?
Right. You should be able to.
Should be. Now, you should have been able to run it on East Carolina too, but that didn't happen. So, got to go do it. I mean, there's no doubt. You got to make improvement. I think that's all that this fan base wants to see is improvement week to week. And, you got to do it Saturday.
If you ask me, we deserve to have a winning program after the tomfoolery that went on with Muschamp being here. We are. I can tell you right now. The years that team in the Upstate won a couple of natties, I was living in the Upstate for one of them. I was not happy.
Yeah, no, it's. I really feel for all the Gamecocks that live in the Upstate, man. That's why I was so excited to do the watch party up there in Greenville. And Gamecock fans did not disappoint. They all showed out, and it was awesome. I can't wait till we get back up there, but. Yeah, I feel for people that live up there and have to deal with that for sure.
But yeah, and I think, like I said also last night, I think I would give Juju McDowell a chance to start.
He's been your most exciting player, and that's for sure. I mean, you need excitement, you need a spark on offense. So, maybe maybe that. Maybe he could do something for you. I don't know. Provide something else, offensively.
Right. And I hope a wide receiver outside of Josh Van steps up. I think Brooks has done pretty good.
Yeah, Brooks is definitely coming to his own
a little bit.
Yeah, Brooks is definitely coming to his own. You just got to continue to find playmakers. That's it. You got to continue to find playmakers who are going to be the guys you can depend on a week in, week out
I
basis.
look at it this way. It takes a while to turn a diamond into a diamond. So it starts out as a ugly, disgusting looking thing, but it winds up at some point with enough pressure turning into a diamond. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes in order to, in my opinion, it's the same as with making a decent football player. You got to push them, show them that they can be better than what they are. And whenever they finally realize, hey, I can do better than what people have been saying, because if I do do it the way the coach shows me and do it correctly and do it right, a lot of good things can happen for you.
Right. Yeah, and it starts in a game like this. If you can't make plays in a game like this, how in the world are you going to make a play in Knoxville? How in the world are you going to make a play in College Station? How in the world are you going to make a play in a big game? So it starts in games like this for sure.
Exactly.
Well, Robbie, yeah, I mean, we'll see who can step up offensively. We all know the issues. We all understand, and we've been beating a dead horse all week about it. So you got to get something figured out offensively, and you got to just find, who are the guys on a week in, week out basis we can sort of depend on to be playmakers for us. And I just think that's still sort of the issue and the battle they're fighting right now. So, but of course it starts all up front with the offensive line. I agree with you. But Robbie, I appreciate the call as always, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too. Appreciate it. 843-790-3377, guys. It's 843-790-3377. As we continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well regarding Saturday's game against the Troy Trojans. Bad weekend to be a Trojan. Bad weekend to be a Trojan indeed. Again, y'all keep bringing the heat. 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, your calls. We'll take them all on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. David Barnes says, I think this will be a coming out party for either Lloyd Bell or McDowell. David, just double check the spelling, my guy. It's yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that type of coming out party for those boys. Let's see. Cody Gaskins just posted a screenshot in the TDC Questions channel. Most takeaways in the SEC this season. South Carolina leads with 10 takeaways defensively in 4 games. Pretty damn good. Kind of helps. It also helps when you have a defensive back that has 4 interceptions to his credit. Luke RJ says, if we lose to Troy, God, just stop reading the question right there. If we lose to Troy, then how does getting to 4 wins look? Beat Vandy maybe, and who else? A lot of people bet money on that over 3.5 wins. Luke RJ, if we lose to Troy, maybe that will be a lesson to people to stop betting on your own team. Like, just wild thought there. You know what I mean? Jesse Jacobs says, I'd love to see us pick up 2 guys, Juju Zaquandre or Juju Marshawn, let them roll and catch a rhythm. Love Kevin, but he doesn't look like 2020 Kevin. I think you need to narrow it down to 2 guys, for sure. Nick Renfro, I think moving Jaheim Bell around at slot, wide receiver at tight end, then use Muse and Jenkins at tight end will make a difference. Bell's definitely one of the best athletes on this team, and we need to use him more, kind of like how Florida used Kyle Pitts. I agree 110%. You got to use Jaheim Bell more. I mean, it's Jaheim Bell, Kyle Pitts. I ain't going to say all that now, but he's an athlete. You need to get athletes the ball. That's it, bottom line. Yeah, too good of an athlete to not get him the football. Brack says Clayton White is earning his paycheck. Indeed he is. Indeed he is, my friend. Indeed he is. Again, 843-790-3377. Guys, taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Really quickly, I'm going to post an official graphic tomorrow and make the announcement, if you will. But wanted to share this news with you all. Go ahead and share it, guys. As I've said on the podcast, you may have heard, I want to thank you all because we have absolutely shattered, and I mean shattered, the all-time downloads record for a single month for the podcast. The previous record was set last December of 2020, with 37.5 thousand downloads. This month, as of right now, so this number will go up a little bit by midnight tonight, if you will. Right now, we sit 55.1 thousand downloads. So again, thank you all. Seriously, anybody who's ever taken a moment even to tune into the podcast, to show love and support, man, it's incredible. It's a blessing. I mean, it's a pure blessing, and I can't thank y'all enough. I can't thank y'all enough. It's incredible. It's incredible. So thank you. Those who continue to tune in, show love, show appreciation for the podcast and everything we do. TSUS wouldn't be what it is without you guys. And like I said, I have not announced that yet, of course, on social media or anything, but I wanted to tell all you tune into the Daily Crow. We've hit over 55,000. And what's really cool about it too, man, is, I sat down at the beginning of the year, or really like New Year's Eve, whatever, but I sat down at the beginning of the year and made my goals for 2021. And, at the time, 37.5 thousand, we were just coming off a record-setting month, 37.5 thousand. I mean, that felt like a ton, and it was, and it is. It's a lot. But one of my goals for the year was hit 50,000 downloads in a month. And so it took us until now. It took us until now. But we did it. So really cool stuff, guys. Really cool stuff. And again, I really, truly, genuinely appreciate it. Really, truly appreciate it. It's very, very cool to see what's, like I said, guys, we're at a really cool point in the history of the business where it feels like, every other week or every week, really, there's a new accolade. There's a new milestone. There's a new record we've shattered. There's a new thing to celebrate. And it's awesome, dude. It's blessed beyond measure. I thank you all so much. Without you guys, like I said, none of what we do would be what it is. So thank you. Brian Bennett says, let's get back to your questions. He says, I'd love to see the old tight end drag more often. Without tight ends, or with our tight ends, it will present mismatches, but we got to block, though. Indeed. Yeah. I like to see the tight end drag as well. Just get the tight ends more involved. Ed Baggett, this team is too much like Sparky Woods at head coach than Joe Morrison. Ed, what does that even mean? What does that mean, Ed? What does that mean? John Gibbs, I'm really excited for Juju in the future. He is our future at running back. Crazy. Who'd have thought we'd be saying that going to week 5? I mean, who in the world thought we'd be saying that? Brian Dean says, we will come out and dominate. I'm sure Coach Satterfield will have a great game plan. Trust the process. Believe in Beamer. You must champ fan and hecklers can go pull for Dablo and Tater Tech. Travis Ford says, stay in the middle and realistic. It is what you got here, or it is what got you here. Yeah, I mean, Travis, that's exactly what I'm doing, my friend. I mean, the definition of the fact that I am being realistic. I picked us to lose to Kentucky, Travis. I don't know. I don't know how much more realistic I can be. You know what I mean? All right, let's jump back to the phone lines.
Call from
J-Rock.
J-Rock, what's going on, man? You're on the air.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
So, not much, man. Waiting for that game.
I hear you.
Ready to see my Gamecocks get back to some winning ways, hopefully.
For sure. What's going on?
So, I know we've been harping on this offense ad nauseum, but, let's just take a minute to appreciate this defense. I mean, have they been perfect? No. But, that group's been doing a heck of a job. And, it's just, I'm really liking the effort that they're showing. I mean, they're doing their job. They're taking the ball away from the other team. And it's just night and day from last season. I mean, you don't even recognize them anymore. And in my opinion, it's definitely been the best phase of the game for us, has been defense. So, and if anybody questions Clayton White, which I haven't heard that so far, I don't think anybody has, but if you question Clayton White as the DC, something's wrong with your head. Coach Beamer definitely did not miss on that.
Yeah, no, it's really, I mean, I agree with you. And like I said earlier in the week, it's a shame that we haven't talked more about the defense this week because of the struggles of the offense, but it's truly remarkable when you think about the defense and what they've done. And because you think, I don't even say this to be disrespectful to the defense this year, but I don't feel like anyone would argue there was more talent, for sure more NFL talent on the defense last year than there is this year. I mean, you just look at J.C. Horn and Israel McQuarrie, just those, and Ernest Jones. So it's like, it is truly remarkable. And again, I know we're only 4 games in, but it's remarkable the strides the defense has made. And are they perfect? No. Are we going to finish top 3 or 4 in the SEC in defense? Probably not. But the way this unit's just flying around and making big plays, I mean, leading the SEC in takeaways, it's true. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. It's incredible, really. So yeah, all credit goes to Clayton White and his staff and those players too, man. Those players were stepping up. I think we're seeing the benefits of the 4-2-5 scheme, and R.J. Roderick said it yesterday in his media availability. He said it allows us to play freely, and that was certainly telling because I think, with Muschamp, you had guys overthinking, playing a step slow, second-guessing themselves, and, you're playing SEC football, man. You second-guess yourself or you're playing a step slow, you're going to get burnt every time. So, yeah, it's been it's been fun to watch, been an incredible turnaround. Just, hopefully they can keep it up for the majority of the season or the majority of the way out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, and maybe a little bit less talent, especially when you consider guys like J.C. Horn and, McQuarrie who ended up, going to the NFL. I mean, look, but here's the thing. What makes the difference is when you got a competent head coach and staff that can actually develop players and get the best out of them, this is the kind of results you get.
Yeah, so, I mean, look at a guy like Brad Johnson. I mean, just the way he's playing and I mean, it's the guys in the secondary, like I said, Jalen Foster. I mean, it's been it's been a lot of fun to watch. And again, hopefully the offense can get themselves in up to par and complement that defense that's doing everything they can to win you ball games right now.
Yeah, and with the offense, I mean, some of it's a little bit of execution on the players' parts, but then also the play calling that definitely has to get better too. So, hopefully they just kind of – I think we should spread it out a little bit more. Seems like a lot of formations that we run are a little too bunched up. Mm-hmm. I think, like I said, maybe it would be better if we spread it out a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, they just got to change, some things, just tweak some stuff so that, we can
just get some more production. But hopefully we'll see that. But I'm gonna have faith that it's gonna work out and we'll be all right. But yeah, man, like I said, just wanted to call in and just kind of brag on this defense a little bit. And I tell you what, if he continues, the success he's having with this defense, we better give Clayton White a raise, because I mean there might be some other big programs that might need they might need a D coordinator, and they're going to come after our guys. So yeah, Coach Beamer needs to lock him down. So
yeah, I'd agree. No, Clayton White's done a hell of a job, and like I said, hopefully the offense can begin to match the defensive side of the ball for sure. Hey, J-Rock, I appreciate the call. Appreciate you tuning in as always, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Great stuff. 843-790-3377. You know what I'm intrigued about, too, as we hit the second hour here of the Daily Crow here on a Thursday? This offense has just been hearing all week how bad they are. All week long. All week. And so, I mean, as a competitor, you just think to yourself, man, do you think I'd love to see a group of guys who just take it personally. Like, you know what? We're going to go out there and we're going to play good football. We're going to show we have good players, if nothing else. They've just been hearing about all week how terrible they are. All week. How do you answer? How do you combat adversity? One of my keys to the game, respond to adversity, and respond to adversity the right way. How do we respond to adversity? That'll be Shane Beamer's biggest coaching job this week. Having this team fired up to play. Hey, it's Troy, right? It's not Georgia. It's not Kentucky. It's Troy. Having this team fired up, excited to play a non-conference game, but also continuing to keep confidence. Like, you're good. You're a good football team. We have good football players. Continue to be confident, even through the struggles, right? Because you can't have success if you don't have confidence, right? It's the chicken or the egg conversation. What comes first? Because the more success you have, the more confident you become, but you have to have confidence in the beginning to even have any success in the first place. So, again, it's just, and Travis, I'm not sitting here saying that your words are what is going to change the offense. I'm just saying though, they hear it, they see it, they understand. Fans are frustrated. They're all frustrated in that building, but I'll be curious to see how we respond as a whole. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Your questions, your comments. Jack says, which team will have more rushing yards? Great question. You want to just say South Carolina, right? You want to just say South Carolina like no-brainer, but I don't know. Maybe we rely on the pass on Saturday. Luke RJ said, I expect no difference in our production on offense. Negative motivation shouldn't be what sparks success. I mean, Luke, I'm not saying that that's like the number one thing, but it's just as a competitor, that type of stuff does fuel you. I mean, you'd be crazy to think it doesn't. It's like I've had former players tell me they enjoyed playing on the road more than they enjoyed playing at home. They enjoyed going into a hostile environment and everybody talking crap to them, right? Some people like the crap talk. It fuels them. It fires them up. So you'd be crazy to think competitors don't see that, hear that, and use that as motivation. 110%. 110% they do. I can speak myself personally. Yeah, that stuff fuels you for sure. People tell me I suck or my show sucks or this sucks or that sucks. Again, you don't take anything personally, but it's just going to make me grind harder. That's it. Aaron Hodges says they're going to kill Troy as they should. Tyler Knoll says, is it fair to say Zach Pickens has not lived up to his 5-star hype that he had coming out of TL Hanna? He's been really quiet this year again. I thought he'd have a great year this year finally. And again, it's Zach Pickens has not had a bad career. He hasn't really had a bad year. But yeah, when you come in with that 5-star hype, that's what's tough. When you come in with that 5-star hype, that's what's tough. So has he played like a 5-star? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that he has. Ryan Christopher says, I don't think people realize that our defensive line is all 4- and 5-star recruits. Am I wrong about this? A lot of them are. Yeah, most of them are. You're correct. I mean, that's why the defensive line was so hyped up coming in the season. Aaron Hodges, the offense will look good this week against an overmatched opponent. That's the hope. That's the hope. Trip USC. Yes, sir. I'll see you tonight. J-Rock Media says, DJ Swearinger used to feed off of criticism and negativity big time. He loved to shut people up and prove them wrong. Yeah. Every athlete's motivated differently. Some don't care about that, but some do. Some do. Nick Renfro says, I'll be the first to say it. Marshawn Lloyd for 100-plus yards this week. I'd love to see that. Would love to see that, no question. Aaron Hodges, a tackle is going to be quite, and he gets a lot of double teams. Maybe try to retype that question or statement because I have no idea. No idea. Help me out, my guy. Help me out. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Do we have a text? No, we do not. We got a question, though. Aaron Hodgins, how do you think the transfers we got have played? That's a great question, Aaron. They've honestly played how I expected because I came in with proper expectations that they're going from a lower level school to an SEC school. And I don't know if fans really comprehend that, like, that is a big deal. Just because you ball out at Georgia Southern or St. Francis or Georgia State, just because you ball out at those schools, it doesn't mean you're going to be a good player here. It doesn't mean that. So, or Assumption College. There's no knock on the guys, but, you know, I didn't have unfair expectations. Hell, Debo Williams didn't even see in the field. I mean, really, have any of the transfers made an impact in y'all's opinion? Have any of the transfers done hardly anything? Because I haven't seen it. If so, am I forgetting someone? Because I haven't seen it at all. I have not seen it at all. And it's no knock on those guys. But again, I just, you know, people are saying, and we got a question right here. Where's the 6'7" Jenkins? Many people have asked, what happened to EJ Jenkins? Where's EJ Jenkins? It's like, guys, I think he's just adjusting to the SEC level. Just because you're 6'7", that doesn't mean you're a good receiver. So I think he's been adjusting to this level. It's no knock on him, but it's just a fact. Savannah Webster, I did not hear about any Jason Brown family drama, so you'd have to fill me in or somebody else who knows what the hell's going on. I have no idea. I didn't see that. Brian Christopher, from his coaching history, can you make the fan base feel good about our O-line coach? No, I can't. His coaching history is not great. I mean, his last job, he got fired. So, yes, James Kendall, Zeb Nolan basically was, he was a transfer. I got you. Transfers are there for depth. Yeah, Spalding and Platel have been okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, the secondary as a whole has been good, so give them credit for sure. They've been solid. I mean, your transfers haven't been like glaring deficiencies or anything, but I mean, they haven't. I didn't expect those guys to come in and be like all SEC players. I think that would say a lot about your roster if those guys were coming in, they were all SEC guys. They've been fine. They've been fine. I've had no issues with the receivers. Or excuse me, not the receivers, the transfers. I've had no issues with the transfers. But again, I didn't, unlike some fans, I didn't expect the transfers to come in and just, you know what I mean, be our best players. Let's just put it that way. I didn't expect that. I never expected that. I never expected that. So. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Continuing to take your questions, your comments, your calls ahead of Saturday's game. Thank God, by the way, we're finally not talking about what happened last weekend, and we're looking ahead to this weekend. Saturday at 3:30, Gamecocks taking on the Troy Trojans at Williams-Brice Stadium. It feels good to be talking about something else that's not last weekend. I can tell you that right now. I don't want to talk about it anymore, guys. Don't ask me. Nope. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Don't cry over spilled milk. Boo-hoo, it happened. Let's go beat Troy. Who gives a damn? It's the next team on the schedule. What other choice do you have? What other choice do you have? Hey, here's a key for you. Don't let Kentucky beat you twice. What happened, happened. Last weekend sucked. We get it. Don't let it beat you twice, though. Don't come into this game dwelling on last weekend because you'll lose again. So, Aaron Hodges says some people were saying Beamer outsmarted everyone by getting players from a lower division. What I think Beamer, man, did everything he could to build out this roster best he could. I don't blame Beamer for going the transfer route. I mean, again, man, he got there so late. There was no way he was going to sign the guys he needed in recruiting, and the transfer portal is such a tool now. I don't blame him at all. I think Torian Gray, especially with the secondary, I think they did all they could to boost that room and build that room out. They did all they could. Again, I just never, though, saw it as like when they went and picked up Jason Brown and E.J. Jenkins, I never was like, oh, they just went and picked up our starting quarterback and our number one receiver. I never felt that way. It's like, okay, good. You pick these guys up, see what they can do, but they got to adjust to this level. And that goes for basically even the Georgia State kid, the Jordan Strawn kid. I mean, is he our best defensive lineman? I would not say so. No. Just because you had 10.5 sacks at Georgia State doesn't mean you're going to have 10.5 sacks a year. It's just not going to happen. So, solid player, though. I mean, help boost depth. It boosts depth, but I just think the people that had these crazy expectations of these dudes. If Gamecocks football and Gamecocks athletics has taught us all anything, it is that life's all about setting proper expectations, man. It's all about setting proper expectations. That's it. I think many Gamecock fans, much of their misery is self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. Truly. If you can set proper expectations and accept those expectations, your life will be much easier. Your life will be much, much easier. And if you can be honest with yourself. That too. Corey Gardner, which running back gets the most carries this weekend? That's a great question. That's a great question. Dude, it's so tough to say. I mean, hell, I have no. Is it Kevin Harris again? I genuinely, Corey, I'll say Marshawn Lloyd. I don't know. Some crazy way he does. S. Rastafari says, our defense will win this game. Fire the O-line coach. Jonathan Perry, is J.J. Nibari a first-rounder? Yes, I think so. J-Rock Media, I think some of our transfers we got will develop into solid players. They certainly could. They certainly could over time. But, again, I didn't set unfair expectations of those guys coming in immediately. You know what I mean? I didn't set unfair expectations. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. Continue to take your questions, your comments, your calls as well on Saturday's game against the Troy Trojans. Also, guys, in case you forgot, just a quick reminder, episode 508 of the podcast did drop this morning, breaking down everything with the game against Troy, as well as we have a great conversation interview with former Gamecocks tight end Busta Anderson. Highly suggest you check that one out. Busta, an incredible player, incredible dude. Really had a great time. A throwback interview here on this Throwback Thursday, a throwback interview from May of 2019. So again, if you guys are wondering, by the way, when you hear those interviews, like, why do I sound differently? It's because I don't think I'd really found my voice yet at that point. So it does sound a little different. Sounds a little different. But yeah, either way, episode 508 dropped this morning, guys. Really good stuff. Again, taking your questions, your comments, your calls, and everything to do with the Troy Trojans, Gamecocks football, everything else here on a Thursday. We'll do that and more on the other side of the break. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, what's up, guys? We're back taking your questions, your comments, your calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Also, guys, a quick reminder, by the way, you see the Dason and Shalabi, if I can point to it, Dason and Shalabi Law Firm logo. We are doing a giveaway, 2 tickets to this weekend's game against the Troy Trojans. We'll be announcing the winners a little bit later today, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I will announce the winners for the 2 tickets. I think they're section 302. I think really good seats, though. They're really, really good seats. So highly suggest you guys head over to Instagram. That's where that giveaway is happening. Head over to Instagram, like the post, tag 3 friends. And, of course, you must follow Dason and Shalabi Law Firm on social media to be eligible. But really excited. Again, we're giving away tickets to every single home game. Appreciate our friends over at Dason and Shalabi Law Firm for making that possible. Travis Ford says, my expectations were 5 wins. I was wanting a possible ECU loss. I'm upset about the scheme that Satterfield's showing. It is shown not to be a winning recipe against SEC competition. Matthew Jones, why do more defenses not run the 4-2-5 scheme? I think it's just a preference thing. Honestly, I think it's just pretty simply a preference thing. S. Rastafari says the Georgia and Kentucky games hurt our recruiting. I mean, did they? How do you? Let me ask you this: How do you quantify that? Like, how do you know that? Rastafari? How do you know that? I have no issue with you saying that, but like, what tangible thing can you point to and prove that? So I don't know how you can quantify that at all, but whatever. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. Really looking forward to the game this weekend, guys. Like I told you earlier, I'm actually very optimistic going into this weekend. Guys, I'm still optimistic on the prospects of this season. Everything's still in front of you. Getting to 6 wins, what I predicted, I think it's very possible. David Barnes says, what offensive player scores their first touchdown of the season this week? Out of Lloyd, McDowell, Harris, Jenkins, Brett. God, there's so many of them. And it's just crazy. We're coming into week 5, and we have ran for 1 touchdown. 1 single touchdown. Like, how is that possible with this stable of backs? I think Juju gets his first one. I think out of the guys you mentioned, I'll go with Juju. I would not be surprised to see multiple of those guys you listed score their first touchdown. Would not be surprised at all. Again, 843-790-3377. It's 843-790-3377. 123 here on a Thursday, September the 30th, 2021. Again, also, guys, if you're in the TDC Questions channel, head over to the TDC Questions channel in the Big Cock Club Discord to be sure that your questions are answered. You can definitely tell it's Troy week, not quite as raucous and chaotic as it was this time last week. But that's okay. They all count. They all count the same. Looking forward to it. Again, I'm actually very optimistic going into this football game. I don't know, man. I'm curious. I'm excited to see how this team responds to adversity. Very excited to see how they respond to adversity. And wanting to see them respond the right way. Truly want to see them respond the right way. And I think they will. I think this team under Shane Beamer will respond to adversity the correct way. And you have to. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Because if you think this week was tough, man, imagine if you go out there and mess around and let what should not happen. Ooh, boy. Gamecock fans will go into a serious depression if that were to happen. Let's see. I'm curious, when do the MLB playoffs start? Next week? Yeah, Tuesday, October the 5th. Isn't it crazy? Guys, last day of September, by the way. Last day of September. Isn't that something? September just came when somebody made the point earlier. I think it's a great perspective. Enjoy these games, guys. Like, enjoy this one Saturday. Yes, maybe it's Troy. We only get 12 of them. And the season, it'll come and go. Before you know it, it'll be gone. So enjoy Shane Beamer's first year. Enjoy his first season. J-Rock Media says Troy has struggled to run the ball worse than we have. If we can stop them on the ground and make them beat us to the air, we can force turnovers and take over the game. Yeah, they've ran for like 2.5 yards per carry, basically the same as you. No secret, they throw the ball more than anything. They're averaging like 280 yards per game to the air. The passing attack, that's what Troy leans on. So, yeah, if you can get them in some obvious passing situations, you feel like your defensive line can take over, your secondary can capitalize, and maybe a guy like Jalen Foster gets another pick. They've shown they're very opportunistic. So, yeah, definitely getting them in third and longs and just making them one-dimensional. Making them one-dimensional, going to be key. Nan Martin, yes, the game is on SEC Network. SEC Network. SEC Network. 3:30 kickoff on SEC Network. Aaron Hodges, the only reason their stats look good is because of the Southern game. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a game that you should not take for granted. Gamecock fans or this team should not take for granted. Hey, the last time you played a Sunbelt team on your home field, you lost. You lost. With that being said, though, I'm not going to spend the next 2 days and into the game Saturday like making Troy out to be something they're not. Quality football team. They got quality players. I think they've got a good head coach, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you guys like we're playing Georgia or we're playing even Kentucky. Like, South Carolina should beat Troy. There's no way around that. South Carolina should beat Troy. Period. So, will they? We'll see, but that's what should happen. No doubt. That's what should happen. Again, guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. Let's see. Jimmy Mendio, who's better, East Carolina or Troy? Great question. Because I thought in the preseason, I think Troy's a better team. I would have thought Troy is the better team than East Carolina. So, what does that mean for Saturday? I mean, again, guys, the transitive property does not apply in college football or sports in general. This is a different South Carolina team than we saw in week 2. So I don't know that really what that really means, but I think it'll be a battle. I think it'll be a fight for sure. Troy's not going to be intimidated. They're going to give you a good shot. Steve Lebeter says, so with the offensive line, do you think it's more of a coaching issue or talent? I mean, you got to think it's coaching. I mean, to a degree, you have to think it's coaching. I mean, it's the same line that paved the way. Or on the flip side, was the coaching last year just that good? I know fans don't like to give any credit to that guy who's not here anymore, but damn, did we just coach up the offensive line that well? Because we paved the way for a 1,000-yard rusher. Those are facts. So what happened? Aaron Hodges says, me, you, and 9 of the guys playing both ways could give them a fight. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. John Gibbs has got South Carolina 31, Troy 17. I like it. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I would honestly take that score. I would take that score. Anybody in the chat going to be in the building Saturday? Anybody going to be in the building at the game? Anybody planning on going? We'll be out at Seawells, like I said, guys. Seawells spots 93 to 96, which I basically should say 93 to 100, because my good buddy John, who tunes in, John Rice, I'm sure he won't mind me name dropping, he's got spots 98 to 100. So that poor soul in spot 97. I don't know who he is, but we basically got 93 to 100. So James Kendall, he's going to be there. Lance Player, I know you'll be there deleting Bush lattes. Tyler Knoll says Mike Bobo was a great run play caller. He's been able to run the football at every school he's been to. Give credit to Bobo. Also think of the grand scheme of things, Beamer should have kept Bobo. There's a reason Brian Harsin came after him. He knows how to call plays. Guy knows how to dial up a run play. I will give him that. I mean, you have to admit that at this point. You have to admit that. Corey Gardner, this line struggled in pass pro last year also, but run blocking was good. This year, neither's been good, but pass pro issues haven't just began. O-line hasn't been good, man. There's no question. Noah John says he'll be there. Eric Fryer, I'll be at the game as usual. I'll be at Gamecock Walk as well. J-Rock Media, Mike Bobo's a veteran play caller. No doubt he did a better job, but let's hope Satterfield finds his rhythm and gets the train rolling. Yeah, I'm not saying I wish Bobo was here. I'm not saying, fire Satterfield, of course. It's been 4 weeks. Let him grow. Let him develop. David Barnes says, I have work until 12, then heading to Willie B. Going to have to play catch up around 2 o'clock. Hey, at least you'll be there, though. Be great to have you. Be great to have you. Travis Ford says, so what? We ran the ball well. We won 2. Well, Travis, I'm just stating a fact. Just stating a fact, Travis. Just stating a fact. I'll say this, too, by the way. A little side note. And I guess I'm not trying to call out Travis individually, but if I do in saying this, so be it. But, man, I don't know, guys. I'm a diehard fan, okay? A diehard. You could not do what I do and not be a fan of the school. But, I'm just beyond the point of allowing South Carolina football to ruin my week. The fact we had people in here yesterday on a Wednesday still, going ham in the comments. I mean, it's great for content, don't get me wrong. But I'm just like, dude, the game happened 4 days ago. How are you still this pissed off? How are you still this mad? I don't know. Just hey, man, be a fan, go crazy. Don't let it ruin your whole week. And then what kills me too, and I feel bad for these people, is and I see them on social media. I don't care if you want to be critical. I don't care if you even want to be negative. But to me, it's if you're going to be negative, if you're going to be critical when it calls for it, well, be positive also when it calls for it. Don't just show up to be negative. What a miserable existence that is, Because that's the thing with me. Hey, I'll be critical when it calls for it. I will be critical. There's no question, no denying that. But I'll also tip my cap. Give credit where credit's due, right? I did that this week with Clayton White and the defense. You got to have both. You got to have both. You got to have both. Aaron Hodges, last year defense was an all-time low for most teams. Harris played well and is a really good player. I think that was a part of the issue. He did have to run against a lot of stacked boxes, so I don't know. Yeah, it worked last year. I don't know. Travis Ford says, it does not ruin my week, but this is a forum to discuss Gamecock football. That is an accurate statement. The answer to the question of how are you still pissed, because we know we'll see it again next week and next year. How do you know that? We don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, let me say this. If you know that, then how do we have any hope for the history of South Carolina football? Ever. Ever. And if we don't, if the answer is, well, we don't, then why do we show up week after week and cheer for this team? If I thought, guys, if I knew for a fact South Carolina will never win an SEC title, I'd probably just stop doing this, because I mean, part of the thing that drives your fandom is the hope and belief that we are going to win big someday. Truly. I mean, I love my team no matter what, but that's a huge driving factor for me personally. I love to win. I'm not just going to subject myself to misery just because. So maybe you'll be right. Maybe you will. Maybe we'll look like total crap on Saturday and the rest of the season we'll win 3 games and Shane Beamer will be a complete failure as a hire. But maybe it won't. I mean, I feel like to be a Gamecock, you kind of have to have that delusional optimism to a degree. Maybe that's what I don't know. I don't know. No, and I'll tell you this, Travis, you're more than welcome to discuss it. This is an open forum to discuss Gamecocks football. Absolutely. I guess maybe I'm just trying to not spin it even, but just, okay, let's turn the page. What can we do? What adjustments can we make? How can we get better and improve and go out and have a better game against Troy than we had against Kentucky? How can we do that? Instead of just dwelling on what happened. What happened against Kentucky happened. Play calling wasn't great. Execution wasn't great. The personnel isn't great. It's not just one thing, though. It's you can't just blame one thing. You can't blame because let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. There are such things as bad offensive coordinators. No question. There's such things as bad coaches. We just had one. But you're telling me out of Roper, McClendon, Bobo, and now Satterfield, all those guys have been bad? Every single one of them. You think all of them were bad? At some point, maybe it's not the guys calling the plays. Maybe it's your players and what you got. I mean, at some point, man, you can't just to a fault blame the OC. Again, Satterfield deserves criticism for the game he called against Kentucky, but it's not just him. I mean, you can't just blame all the problems on him. You can't. You can't. I don't give a damn what run play you call. If it's 3rd and 1 and then 4th and 1 and you can't convert, that's not all on Satterfield. That's your fault for not opening a damn hole. You got to go block. Because guess what? I can tell you this. If you called that play at Alabama, guess what they'd do? They'd get the first down. Period. They'd get it. It's not all play calling. Like, give me a break. Come on. I'm not saying the play calling was perfect by any means. But to pin it all on one thing, I think is just, it's ignorant. It's really what it is. It's ignorant. J-Rock Media says, I think the biggest issue is that there have been several times over the last decade that we should have beat UK but messed around and found a way to give them the game. So to see it again upsets people. Agree. Hey, I've learned this week, losing to Kentucky is an unforgivable sin for Gamecock fans. Unforgivable. Travis Ford, let's see if Satterfield spreads the field like Baylor did and quit trying to do the impossible. Travis, do you have the players to do that? That's my sincere question to you. Eric Fryer says negative energy from fans is as dangerous as negative energy in the locker room. If you never have nothing good to say, take the stuff outside. It's a damn shame that as a fan, we can't boot these fans out of the locker room who never have anything good to say. You know, and I'll say this. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone has value in what they say. Hey, it's a free country. Thank God, right? Thank God. We can all say what we want to say. Travis Ford says, we need wide receiver depth. You want to come in and play in this scheme if you're a top wide receiver with other good choices. You just said we need wide receiver depth. Yeah, if you're a top wide receiver, you say, I'm going to play, like immediately. Yeah, I'm going to play. I guess if you like playing football in the SEC and you want immediate playing time, yeah, you think South Carolina's a pretty attractive destination. And Travis Ford, yes, I'm singling out one play, but again, there are other instances, other scenarios, other plays on Saturday that you got to execute. You got to execute. A lot of it comes down to execution. Again, you cannot just blame one thing. I see Travis Ford has had his mind made up all week that it's all on Satterfield, and that's totally fine, but you are wrong. I mean, you are wrong. You're wrong. Baylor had the 2- and 3-star kids that Texas, OU, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, TCU did not want. They're also playing in the Big 12 where nobody plays defense. So how is that comparing? How is that any comparison there? Again, Satterfield might turn out to be a complete bum, but to blame it all on him, the coach can only do so much. Have you ever played a sport before? You can have the greatest, great players make great coaches. Steve Spurrier's not Steve Spurrier without great players. Nick Saban is not Nick Saban without great players. Got to have the players. Got to have them. And so maybe it will come out at some point that Satterfield's an incompetent play caller. But how can you tell that with this group of guys right now? And no disrespect to them, how can you already tell that? I'm not drawing conclusions in year one. I'm not doing it. I've made the decision. I guess if that makes me foolish, then so be it. But I think it's foolish to draw conclusions in year one. You got to give people the opportunity to grow, to evolve, to get better. I mean, if you were hiring a coach to have immediate results in year one, then you hired the wrong coach. If that was the only goal, then you hired the wrong coach. And you hired the wrong coach. Maybe Travis Ford didn't even want Beamer in the first place. So who knows? I might be talking to a brick wall right now. Everything's got to get better. Nobody's denying that. Marcus Satterfield deserved the criticism from over the weekend, but it wasn't just one thing. Let's give that a rest. It wasn't one thing. It was not one thing. Probably pretty hard to call plays when you got an offensive line that can't block worth a damn. And you got a receiver room that you've got one guy who's dependable in Josh, but outside of that, you're just starving for playmakers. You got a group of running backs who's underachieved. Call it for what it is. They've underachieved at this point. You got a quarterback who's still not 100%. So probably makes it pretty tough to call plays. I'm not trying to make excuses, but these are real issues we are fighting. Are they not? I mean, these are real issues we're fighting. Scotty Griffin, yes, I'll be at the baseball scrimmage tomorrow. Yes, I'll be there. And hey, I'll tell you this to Travis Ford and everybody. If Shane Beamer comes out after the season, says, you know what? We made a mistake. I'm going to let Satterfield go. I'm firing Greg Atkins. Then fine. Hey, he's a grown-ass man who's getting paid a lot of money to coach our football team and be the CEO of this organization. So if he feels that's Shane Beamer will make the best decisions for South Carolina football. He will. Shane Beamer will not just watch it crash and burn so he can have some of his buddies employed like the last guy. He will not do that. He will not do that. So again, I go back to do you trust Shane Beamer or do you not? You wanted him as your head football coach. Do you trust Shane Beamer or do you not? I don't want to spend the entire season dogging our players. I don't. But yeah, Jacob Edwards says this is a passing league and we don't have the athletes on the outside to compete yet. Offensive line's been terrible too. I don't want to spend the season dogging our players. We got some good individual players, but God, I mean, you just have to open your eyes and be honest with yourself about what they're working with. You have to. You have to. Again, anyone who came in this season thinking 7 to 8 wins was, and somehow if we didn't hit that was some massive disappointment, is a lunatic. Getting to 6-6, again, fantastic year, and you can still do it. But again, 843-790-3377. And by the way, guys, I value all of your opinions. The beauties and the banter. So Travis Ford, whoever, please continue to comment. This what we're doing right now is what makes this show great. It's what makes this show great. So I don't want you to think, by the way, again, that's why, like I said, I value all comments, all fans. But my biggest thing, and like I said, my gripe to some fans is like, listen, I can handle the negative comments and whatever, but at least be willing also, because a lot of fans, they just go quiet when things go well. I saw this all during baseball season. They go mute when things go well. But damn it, they're the first ones to call for somebody's head or burn it down. This guy's stupid. That guy's not. Just keep the energy across the board. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just keep the energy consistent. Because guess what, guys? I mean, when you look back, like 2011 to 13, we just look back and say, oh my God, those are such great times. We won 11 games. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Those teams lost games. You know, those teams lost games. Those teams won games by less than they should have. So you never know, man. You're 2-2 right now. Who knows? Who knows what? Maybe we'll finish 2-10. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll finish 6-6 though. Just never know. This weekend's big. You got to see. You got to see progress. You got to see progression. I want to see adjustments made by Marcus Satterfield and his offensive staff. What are the adjustments you've made week to week? I'm not saying you got to go out and score 50, but there's got to be a change, something. You got to find an identity. Absolutely, you have to find an identity, or at least start to find it. Luke RJ says, I'm the exact opposite. If we lose to Troy, I probably won't be watching your show. Oh, come on, Luke. If we're undefeated, I'll be listening to everything. My excitement is over. Tanner Land coming in with the hot take. Spurrier always lost games he should have won. But it did happen. You are right, it did happen. Luke RJ, Chris, what's the ceiling, though, for our offense? We had great players. If our statistics are this bad now with who we had today, I mean, it's tough to say, because do you think we're running the full extent of our offense right now? I mean, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Tyler Noel says, I feel like the people who are clamoring for Sat to be fired and still think Luke Doty isn't clearly the best quarterback on this football team in the future of this program going forward these next couple of years. 2. I don't know, man. Again, the criticism's fair. I mean, listen, you get shut out in the first half of a game, and I'm just excited to see going into this weekend what type of adjustments are made. I know it's Troy. I get it. Non-conference, but what type of adjustments are made? And again, I said this last night at Tin Roof, and I'll tell you guys this. Something I hope happens, and this is going to sound weird at first. When you look at great entrepreneurs, for example, one of the characteristics and traits of great entrepreneurs is they fail quickly. And what I mean by that is this. They don't invest their time and resources in something that they have an instinct to know, okay, this works, this doesn't. This is where I should allocate my resources. This is where, I should take less in this, put more in that. And I like to think we do that with content, right? I'm very quick to, hey, this is a new piece of content we're rolling out, and be quick to listen to your audience. I'm not saying quit at the first sign of trouble, but be able to tell early on, hey, we need to make this adjustment. We need to go this way. Don't be so set in your ways, right? Fail quickly. If you're going to fail quickly and make the adjustment quickly. Well, I want this Carolina offense to fail quickly on Saturday. And what I mean by that is this. Of course, we all want to run the football. We all feel like we should be able to run the football. But if you cannot run the football early, scrap it. Abandon it. You got to make an adjustment. If you've got to throw the ball 40 times to win against Troy, so be it. So be it. Just because you ran it well last year does not mean you're going to run it well this year. Every season has its own story. The story of last season was you had the SEC's leading rusher on your football team. Maybe the story of this season is that you can't run the ball and you've got to develop in the passing game. I know you're limited at wide receiver. I know your tight ends haven't done as much this point. But at some point, guys, if you cannot run the ball, if you can't, you've got to find an identity. Maybe you're going to have to be a passing team. Maybe you're going to have to be a passing team. Because I'd much rather you spread the field out and just give guys on the outside chances to make plays. You know what? At some point, it's like, hey, you were recruited to the University of South Carolina for a reason. And despite what everyone says, you're a good football player, and we're going to give you a chance down the field. You're either going to make the play or you're not. But you can't just keep trying to run the ball, and be running for 2.5 yards per carry. You can't do that. You can't do that. So, on Saturday against Troy, certainly try to run the football, try to establish the ground game. If it's not there early, Scrap it, fail quickly. Don't spend, because what's going to happen is if you try to be stingy in the run game, and we keep seeing the same things we've seen the first couple of weeks, you're going to look up in the fourth quarter, it's going to be a 13-10 game, 17-14 game, and then you're going to be like, uh-oh. You got to start to find your identity. If your offensive line just ain't got it this year, they just ain't got it. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. They just don't have it. Every story, every season has its own story. Maybe the story of this season is you've got to throw the ball more than you expected. That's it. So, fail fast. If you're going to fail fast. You know, make the adjustment. Make the adjustment. Let's see. Travis Ford says, Tyler, my jury is out on Doty, but he is not the stumbling block. This whole philosophy of be more physical and run the ball is not going to get done. Well, Travis, do you understand why that was the overriding philosophy coming in the season? 4 or 5 starters in the offensive line return. The entire running back room that we, hyped up and felt so good about. There were reasons that was the case. But I think that's one of the reasons through 4 weeks is that we're almost running it for the sake of we feel like we should be able to, instead of, again, just saying, you know what? We can't run the ball. We can't do it. And if that's the case, I mean, you got to you can't, let me put it to you this way. You can't just keep struggling offensively and not having success and losing games and just say, well, we feel like we should be able to run the ball and we can't. To hell with that. Make an adjustment. Throw the damn ball. I thought you were going to be a 70-30 run team, but maybe you should be a 70-30 pass team. Obviously, the goal is to find balance, but, I mean, right now, man, you cannot run the ball to save your life. 83 rushing yards in 3 FBS games. I mean, that says it all. 2.5 yards per carry. That says it all. You can't spend all day Saturday trying to figure out the run game. We got to go win a game. We need to develop some confidence. Winning 17-10 ain't going to get it done. That's not going to get the job done. That ain't going to make anybody feel good going into Knoxville. I can tell you that much. Let's see. Less than 10 minutes to go here on a Thursday. Less than 10 minutes to go. Travis Ford says, we're not that bad at wide receiver. Got to spread the field. Plus, showing you want to throw the ball will attract more wide receivers. I would say this, Travis, we have talent extremely unproven. That's the biggest thing with the receiver position. We're just extremely unproven, if you want to put it that way. But you got to give them chances to make plays. But you came to the University of South Carolina. I mean, I'd like to think we don't just go out and recruit straight scrubs. So, Jakari Caldwell, step right up, big boy. Or Trey Smith, go out and earn your scholarship. For the love of God. I mean, Jalen Brooks, you want your chance? Here we go. Josh Vann, same thing. Xavier Legette, go earn your scholarship. I mean, you get treated like kings. Go make plays. Go make plays, man. You're on scholarship to catch the damn ball. Again, we all want to put it on coaching and Satterfield and Beamer. I challenge the team. I challenge the players. You're on scholarship to make plays. A coach can only do so much, man. He can only do so much. Y'all put it all on Satterfield. Again, I'm not saying he had a great game against Kentucky play calling, but for the love of God, sometimes you just got to go make a play. That's it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Players make plays. Players win games. Coaches lose them. But players win games. That's it. That's it. Go be a good football player. Tanner Lynn, I'm calling in a Beamer tonight and telling him Travis Ford's game plan for Saturday. You should do that. You should definitely do that. Oh, let's see. Eric Fryer, nominating myself for Slap Dick of the Day. I want some big game Garnet for Saturday. All Garnet, love the look. I wonder what we'll do uniform-wise. I don't know. Travis Ford, I get it, but EOC would know that every DC is going to load the box, so I got to engineer them out of the box with the scheme and the quick passes. I don't feel like we've been able to run against even a four-man front, dude. We haven't been able to run against anything. Anything at all. Luke RJ, what you're saying, though, is that means Satterfield would do what would know what to do to be successful in a game and make adjustments. He doesn't. Luke, again, you're saying that 4 games in, bro. I'm sorry. I don't, that comment holds no merit in my mind. No, it holds no merit. It holds no merit. Can you imagine if South kind of fired Satterfield right now after 4 games? Can you imagine that? Travis Ford, when were you the fire Muschamp guy? I'm shocked you were before me. I'm shocked. Also, Muschamp had a proven track record of being a shitty coach. None of these guys have any proven track record of being hardly anything. So, but again, if Shane Beamer thinks that Satterfield's a bum and he wants to fire him after the first year, I'm behind Shane Beamer. Do it. Hey, Shane Beamer will make whatever necessary changes we need. Luke Argy says, coaches are everything, Chris. In football, look at Phillip Rivers coaching in high school. That is, Luke, you could have pulled so many examples, but you still went to Phillip Rivers in high school, my guy. Come on. There's got to be a better example than that. Has to be a better example. I'm not saying coaching does not make a difference, by the way. It does. It does. It makes a difference. Hell, look at the last 5 years. Lack of development, talent evaluation, those things were an issue. The overall culture in the building, those things were an issue. But again, like I said, guys, at some point, players have to just go make plays. They got to go make plays. Hey, bad play calling can be masked by great talent. Luke RJ's upset that I just trashed his Phillip Rivers take. They didn't win a game like 5 years. That school was a good example. Bro, if you think I'm keeping up with Phillip Rivers High School, you are out your damn mind. I can tell you that much. Again, Satterfield might be a total bum. Maybe maybe next week on Monday, Gamecocks win 13-7, and we're done. And hey, Satterfield calls the worst game of his career. I just am not ready. I'm not ready to draw conclusions after 4 games. I think that makes me a fairly rational human being. I don't know. Call me crazy. I think that makes me a rational human being. I think all of you are just so up in your feelings that South Carolina lost to Kentucky, and you just need to get over it. You just need to get over it. Kentucky's just a better football team than South Carolina. Just get over it. That's it. And again, I know it's not a 1-game sample size. The play calling has not been – the whole offense hasn't been great. The entire offense. Tylenol, appreciate you tuning in. Again, we'll see what happens. Travis Ford, nobody's saying Troy is a measuring stick, so I wish you'd stop saying that I said that. Nobody's saying that, Travis. Nobody, literally no one is saying that. It's an opportunity to bounce back and make adjustments and win. Nobody's saying that Kentucky was the measuring stick or was one of the measuring sticks. Nobody's saying Troy's a measuring stick. I don't know where you're getting that from. And James Kendall, I agree. I'm not happy with where we are versus where Kentucky is either, but you know what? It's unfortunately the reality. Mark Stoops has got a 9-year head start on Shane Beamer, but it's okay. We'll catch back up to him. We'll get back to beating them on a yearly basis. We will. Maybe as soon as next year. Who knows? But it will happen, but it's going to take time. You got to be patient. The one thing we all don't want to do, be patient. Manning Sloop, last question. Do we think having Oscar Delp in the building will have any effect on play calling this week as far as getting the ball to tight ends more? You certainly don't make an offensive game plan around a recruit being in the building, but if that happened to happen, that would be very ideal. Would you not agree? That would be very, very ideal indeed. Dakota Lee Center fight. I appreciate you, my guy. Hope lunch went well for you. Hope lunch went well for you. And Travis Ford, you are correct. South Carolina out-recruited UK every single year, but you know what? Mark Stoops is everything that Will Muschamp was not, which is a great evaluator and developer, and that's where Kentucky dwarfed you. That's where Kentucky dwarfed you. If you can't see that and realize that, got nothing for you. Again, it's funny. We're still talking Kentucky game on Thursday. We're still talking. Hey, there's a game this weekend, guys. There's a game this weekend. Let's lock in on that. Let's beat Troy. Hey, y'all have a great rest of your day, man. We've hit 2 o'clock. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is always a good time. Hey, at the end of the day, I love each and every single one of you. We're all Gamecocks. We all want the same thing, and we're all in this together, and I can't wait to watch South Carolina whip Troy's ass on Saturday. All right, guys, hey, check out the podcast if you haven't done so. Episode 508 that dropped this morning. A full breakdown of the game against Troy, as well as great conversation interview with Busta Anderson, former South Carolina tight end. Until tomorrow, guys, again, thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Thursday,